Hi, my name is Myra Wright. I want to welcome you and thank you for being here today. I am a selection specialist and I have been contacted by the HR department here at Bridges Financial Advisors to offer my advice regarding the use of assessment centers. I want to just start off by reviewing my goals and objectives for the presentation and make sure they align with yours because this presentation is ultimately for you. And I want to make sure that this is the best. It offers it is beneficial of your time, and I want to make sure that the information that I have is correct in order to give you an accurate recommendation as to whether assessment centers would be a good fit for you and your specific organization. I want to just start off with reviewing your current selection methods that you have used and by identifying your needs and your desired outcomes. Afterwards, I will review what assessment centers are and their use. And finally, I will end with offering my recommendation as to whether or not Bridges Financial Advisors would benefit from assessment centers. So first of all, I want to, as I had mentioned, I wanted to review your current hiring philosophy. From my understanding, you had recruited at the top reputable business schools, as well as offered promotions based on tenure and past performance. However, it seems that, and please correct me that I'm wrong, that your best managers do not include the candidates with the longest tenure and the best technical skills. Your goal is to remain competitive and to select the best candidates for middle management positions. Your ideal candidate, from my understanding, is someone that is knowledgeable regarding technical skills, possesses client management skills, as well as possesses supervisory skills. And these are very important to identify because it'll help us in determining whether assessment centers would be a good fit for your organization. So, on that note, I will start reviewing what assessment centers are. Basically, they are a standardized approach to, and it uses trained assessors and different exercises to evaluate job-specific behaviors. In other words, it is a very standardized approach, and it is good for specifically for middle management positions, and because they work on evaluating this job-specific behaviors. So what that means is that I would recommend you first conducting a job analysis to identify what are the specific behaviors that you would like to search and identify in candidates that would be coming into your organization, and as well in order to identify if they would be a good fit. So for example, as I had said before, from my understanding, you're searching for candidates that have that are knowledgeable regarding technical issues, and they have client management skills as well as supervisory skills. So those two things we would make sure to identify specific behaviors that you're looking for, and this could come in different ways. For example, you can use information from supervisors, people from higher positions, just to see what specific behaviors would be identifiable with someone that has knowledgeable regarding technical issues. So once you have correctly and specifically identified the behaviors that you're searching for, then the great thing about assessment centers is that you choose which exercises to utilize in order to find those specific behaviors. So, for example, to assess whether a person has specific issues regarding or specific knowledge regarding technical issues, you can do a leadership group discussion, and just a little overview on that. It is basically like a roundtable discussion with up to, I think, it could be up to around 6 candidates, and you give them a specific problem, and they work together to offer a solution. The trained assessors are just by the wall, and their main job is to write down specific behaviors and use their behaviors to analyze whether they have the information that they are searching for. And that is good for leaderships are good for like decision making, organization, ability to work together. You can design the leadership group discussions however you'd like to. As the name implies, there is no specific leader. There's no, although you can assign roles, but you can just present a problem, and then you can assess how they work together in order to solve the problem. There are also other types of exercises, such as the in-basket and case analysis. And I would just suggest for you to, once again, begin by identifying the behavior that it is that you're looking for in your specific candidates, and then deciding which exercises would be most beneficial. After that, obviously, we want to make sure that that everyone knows how to assess the candidates. The assessment centers are a standardized approach. So not only do we want to have the same exercises for each candidate, but we want to make sure that the assessors assess each candidate the exact way, the same way, in order to prevent bias and other effects. And also, other pros for using the assessment centers is that it provides not only one opportunity for the candidate to demonstrate their behaviors, but multiple opportunities. So one of the main things is that if you're trying to see whether they possess a specific supervisory skill, they have multiple opportunities to demonstrate that to you. And then also in some of the exercises, you can assess them in groups, like the leadership group discussion, but you base them off individually. It is important to bring up the cons of using assessment centers. The two main cons are pricing. It is very expensive, and it is time consuming. I would not recommend assessment centers for small organizations. However, since your organization hires around 20,000 employees, I would recommend the use of assessment centers based on your budget, obviously, because that is one of the big factors to consider as to whether assessment centers are good for you. However, I do think this is a very important thing to bring up. Although they may be expensive, take into account how much it would cost for you to incorrectly select a candidate. It costs up to 2.5 times the salary of a position for an error made. So basically, if you choose the wrong candidate in your selection methods, it could cost up to 2.5 times their salary amount. In the long run, even though it's expensive and it's time consuming, it'll be cost effective for you. And also another con was the time consuming factor. But as you can look into this as, even though it takes a long time, it'll save you money in the long run, but there are many benefits for the assessors in being a part of these assessment centers. Research has proven that it has been able to improve their oral communication skills, as well as just helping them understand a little more about what they are searching for in candidates. And ultimately, I would recommend the use of assessment centers for your business, because looking back at what your goal is, you want to remain competitive, and if you if you have the means to do so and the money to pay for the startup cost, let's say, of the assessment centers, ultimately it's such a great benefit for you and to correctly identify the candidate that would help you reach your ultimate goals, your mission statement, and just a great fit for your culture. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Please let me know if you have any questions or need clarification. I know it's a lot to take in. Thank you.